Ain't 20v1s, 1v20 if I gotta smack niggas that right with you. Yeah, bring them out too. I'll bleed them out too. I'll beam that I better stay right with you. And I better let him go so AI. Feeling like Joe Hale Osteen. Funny, he was in a film called I'm a 6'10" stand me to Alfie. I'm a blick niggas all in a coffee. Yeah, you OVO niggas is dick riders. Tell them run to America to imitate heritage. You can't imitate this violence. What I learned is niggas don't like the West Coast, and I'm fine with it. I push a line with it. Pick a nigga off one at a time with it. We can be on a 3-hour time difference. Don't speak on the family, Crody. You can get deep in the family, Crody. Talk about me and my family, Crody. Someone completing your family, Crody. We be a new Hulking getting fried rice with a dip sauce on the black meat, Crody. And cheese and farm. We can do this right now on the camera, Crody. What's up? You see, I'm not afraid of saying the N-word. It just needs to be contextual and not sloppy, right? Sloppy, disgusting, nonsensical. We ain't about that here. You know, this is really, really misogynistic. And I don't normally talk like this or even think like this, but it's true. The claws are out, sweaty. AOC's aging like hot milk. Hashtag facts. Like, come on now. Girl. Get yourself some moisturizer or something. You know, get a little fat on your bones, because you're looking taut. You're looking like a piece of jerky left out in the sun for too long, girl. Come on now. Get it. Hey, my rival. My rival. Jab. He might watch this, he might not, I'm not sure. But he also might have realized by now that most of what he thought I was a lie told him by his shitty friends. Either way, you can still be my rival, bro. Fight me with axes, bro! Shaw your shanks and get redeemed about it. Don't disgruntle Max forever. Free yourself, brother. Come on now. I've been alone for so long. Oh, no. I went down into the pit by choice to gain secret wisdom. Now I'm crawling back up out of the pit. Yeah. So, a good way of both conserving time and aura maxing are to just pop into a group of friends or acquaintances and crack a few good jokes, then leave. Talk on it if you feel like it's necessary. Don't speak on it if you don't know about it. But don't hang around so long like a bad smell that you start getting desperate. And you start having to ration your actual wisdom and intuitiveness so that you can become topical. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oi! You from Chester, mate? No, sir. A chest is just a chest maker. No, it's not. A chest is a molester, ain't it? No, sir. I'm just a jester. Oh, shit. Everybody thinks everybody is pedophiles over in the British Isles because they let their fucking ruling class diddle kids for, 200 years? The Industrial Revolution and its consequences, man. Now, people think that's always been the case. You can actually go and... Here's a good book to find. The History of Central Banking. That's a good book. That'll show you where it starts off. And let me tell you, it starts off at about 1100. 1100, there's started to have coups take place that you can detect now through historical accuracy and studies. And the English people were subjugated. And it's rather sad in it. Because I love British people. I love British people. British people are my favorite people. I mean, it's basically my people. But at the same time, they have some of the best in their hearts. Some of the best attitudes and some of the best comedy in the world. You think it's bad because you've grown up in a time where, this desiccated husk is all that seems to be left, and there's little bits out in the hinterlands of real British culture, and everything else has just been the cool parts of the destroyed British culture are now heavily involved in Warhammer 40k and stuff. I'm pretty sure Games Workshop is a British company, probably out in London. So they're way up here, and everybody else is down here. getting stabbed and eating some of the worst food ever. Like, I'm sorry, you guys do not need to be eating like the planes are still flying over, man. Come on, get it together. Now, Americans drink too much fucking coffee. That's the truth. We really need to back off on our coffee consumption because it's gotten bad recently. However, it's better than alcohol. So if you're like, replacing your dopamine push from alcohol to coffee, go for it. But like, don't turn your coffee into an addiction if you can help it. People never use the term parasocial, right? It's like you interact with people on the internet and you remember it. Parasocial. No. That's social. That's literally actual sociability. Parasociality, according to the woman who created the term in like the 60s, is like a TV fan club, super fan club leader. It's the person who has never met the movie star. And usually there's another layer on this where they are in love with a character and not the actual person, right? So they're in love with Iron Man instead of Robert Downey Jr., right? Like, this is probably very, very common today because of how movies work. But when you're interacting with people, like genuinely interacting and talking with them online, it's not parasocial. That's just social. That's just a form of sociability, same as if you were talking with them on the phone, same as if you were talking with them in person. Parasociality is this imaginary relationship that people who have dependency issues usually build up around a persona that they're projecting on some star, and it's called parasocial because of the parasitic nature of trying to grab onto usually a movie star and drag a piece down into your home, essentially, which is essentially the entire Hollywood industry. Speaking of which, what is up with the music industry? Can we get that shit together? Now's the time to get that shit together. Like, really, you can have good beats and good messages at the same time. You can. So why not? Why not people start to invest in a better future, starting with the words that they listen to on the car rides? Why not? Try it out. Trump's been watching Beverly Hillbillies. He wants that bubbling crude, that sweet bubbling crude, that liquid gold. He's been watching Beverly Hillbillies. I know it. I know in his last 3 years he's been watching Beverly Hillbillies. I just know it. That's the sort of person he is. But my dad loves him, and at the end of the day, it's why I kind of, I got a little soft spot in my heart for movie aficionado Trump. But never hinge your hopes on somebody, as a parasocial person tends to do, on somebody like way up there. I think Trump's probably the biggest parasocial entity of our time because people latch on to him like he's going to do stuff directly for them, and he's dealing with billions of people, literally billions of people, right? Especially now. Like, he's got a really global mindset at the moment, and it scares me a bit because, as I've speculated, Greenland might actually have more to do with Russia than resources, which is scary. You don't want him to set up something that have the indoctrinated Gen X when they come of age, like when they start turning 60 and 70, not come of age, but like become the come of age into our oligarchic system, right? And then they can be given power, other than Biden, who apparently was like the youngest senator. That shit's nuts. 5 fucking decades of licking the toes of foreign diplomats. Good God. Oh, man, I feel so fucking shitty about voting for that guy. And I'm going to feel shitty about voting for that guy for all eternity. And that's just how it is. Thanks a lot, Bernie. I traded every fucking little bit of love that I had in for you after you told me to do that. Yeah. But yeah. Here's another thing. I do agree with the Nazis on one major issue. People belong more so in the land of their ancestors than otherwise. You see? But there are holes in most of the plans to repatriotize people, right? And you know what's interesting is here's the interesting thing. Please listen up. I am not seeing the same sort of wanton evil cruelty I saw under Stephen Miller in Trump's first term, when, like, legitimately AOC, like, fuck her and everything, but, like, it was genuinely heartbreaking when you saw the footage. I know she probably looking at the footage outside of the gate to cry, right? Because she's obviously not crying at something super far away. But when you see the footage of these people and these children sleeping on the floor in giant cages in wrinkle mats, and then you hear the stories of them being gassed with COVID spray, mind you. So that's from both sides. It really is heartbreaking. It really is some concentration camp shit. I think Trump legitimately said, don't do that shit. Tom Homan, clean this shit up. And it looks like they're just sending them out. You know, they're flying them out. And hopefully, I wish them all well. God bless them. You know. It is what it is. Because a lot of these people were being moved in and they were going to be utilized as pawns in games, and that's not good either. You know, I feel miserable for the Honduran woman who lost her entire family to not gun violence, fucking stupid shit, to, like, roving bands of gangs in Honduras that has, like, 50 guns per person. Not that that really matters that much, but it shows you how easily they can replace their shooters, and how they can just wantonly utilize their guns without fear of lack of maintenance, because they have so many of them drop shipped in from the United States. And those people are some of the worst people in all of the Latin American area, the people in Honduras. Not the Hondurans, but the people I've just been talking about. And I've met people who've had their entire families killed who are Honduran. And it's heartbreaking when you hear about it, because it's Honduras and Nicaragua, or Nicaragua to a lesser degree, but Honduras is just like a big plain of violence. A nightmare. And anybody saying, oh, Trump, don't invade the sovereign borders, think of the president. Like, dude, he's trying to go in there and reverse the shit the CIA's been doing. Those are puppet governors. Those are not real people. Just like our governor here in Florida, he's a fucking puppet, and he's not a real person. And I've seen him preside over tremendous destruction of our natural resources. People are going crazy. Good people have left in mass, and now it's just like a Airbnb hub. You know, it's not good. More rentals, more own nothing, be happy. Thanks, Israel. The Ottoman Empire essentially committed seppuku through their middle class. The middle class diluted their inherent nationalism with comfort and drugs, and I get it, because the Ottoman Empire was like the beating heart of evil. Especially after Napoleon waged war with you, it kind of shakes the veneer of, actually, we're a global entity and everybody loves us. And then Napoleon's like, nah, actually, you guys suck. He's right. He was right. The Ottoman Empire sucked. Look at their long-term consequences. That's not the long-term consequences of a mighty nation. That's the long-term consequences of improper management. It's as simple as that. And fuck Turkey. Like, really, fuck Turkey. Not Turkish people. Even though you guys are, aggressive as all hell, it's not your fault. It's your Ataturk-ass country, this nasty little New York of the Middle East, that has been the problem, really. And a lot of people can kind of do enough research to figure that out without screaming about the red flag with the star and moon on it. I almost said the Red Crescent, but they're a good organization. They're basically the Middle East equivalent of the Red Cross. Want to know why New York culture involves honking your horn 6 million times a day? I'm not sure if you're ready for that yet. You're still on remedial racism. Who's that? The last funny black man not sacrificed to Moloch yet? Cool. Oh, what's he doing? He's selling insurance. Great. One time when I was little, I picked up a man-o-war and I put it in a bucket and I took it to my grandfather's house. And then there was a hurricane and the power went out, and I had my little man-o-war friend in the bucket by the fireplace. And of course he died in 3 days, but like, I considered him my friend, and I didn't even find out until later he was deadly, 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 deadly jellyfish. But I was respectful, and so I'd never molested him, right? So I didn't get stung. Like, nature is a beautiful teacher, and I had wonderful parents that had already taught me a lot. And running through North Carolina, you look down for snakes and rocks and stuff, and you learn to respect things a little bit after tripping a few times. Kids need that, Kids don't need to be stepping on snakes, but Boy Scouts was one of the best things for me. But ultimately, I came from North Carolina. I came from the hills of North Carolina, running around up and down hills. And one time, I rode my bike as fast as I could down the hill that our house was on, and there was a cul-de-sac at the end. And I was just like, the Riftu! And I fucking... I pivoted, I landed flat, I scraped an entire knee right down to the bone practically, but not really. It was just a real bad flesh wound. It didn't actually manage to pierce through the flesh and get the bone out there. That's good. But, whoo, buddy, I had to crawl myself all the way up the hill back to the house. And my mom was so upset. Oh, lordy. Oh, lordy. That's one of the most times I've seen her the most upset, because there's just so much blood, because it had just lacerated so much skin. It had flayed my knee, and one of the other knees got pretty badly damaged too in other spots. Dreams have meaning. Their logic is enigmatic, and it's hard to read in strangers. But dreams have meaning, and that's one big thing that I'd love to get into is dream analysis and dream interpretation, but I feel like that's almost an antiquated thing of a more peaceful time. Everybody has bad dreams now. Everybody's struggling to sleep. A lot of people don't have dreams because they're assisted to get to sleep because the environment that they live in is not adequate to peace, and that's just the saddest thing in the world. I hate to say this, but I'm pretty sure a lot of Israelis, like actual Israelis, have this stuck in them because of what their government has decided to turn their backyards into like a war zone. And so they hear, excuse me, I don't know why I snapped. They hear 3 in the morning, and that legitimately means get up, go to the fucking bunker. We've attacked our neighbors again, and they're pissed, and they're attacking at night, which is just like, yeah, you guys killed a bunch of children. It's not necessarily dishonorable for them to be attacking you at night at that point, and it sucks. That's the state of war. That's the state of dissolving the social contract and obliterating your ability, your environment of peace. And the entire environment itself, trees and proper waterway management and stuff like that is managed over time by gravity and nature and animals. All of that is a condition of peace. And as we rip it apart and replace it with stone, you will see a massive condition of war rising out of all men. And that is really the apocalypse. So, hope y'all have a good day. Hope y'all avoid the apocalypse. But apocalypse now. That movie's great, by the way. If you haven't seen Apocalypse Now, try to watch Apocalypse Now. That movie is fantastic. One of the better movies. Unfortunately, they did blow up a shit ton of forest to make that movie. But hey, they were going to blow up the forest anyways. They already blew up the forest. You might as well watch it, right? Great movie. All right, y'all. Take care.